did you know that there was a version of the Ramayana that is even older than Valmikiji? This was written by Hanumanji. Hanumanji himself brought Bhagawan Shri Ram, Lakshman and Sita to that ashram, and not only did he bring them there, but in today's world, one of the easiest ways to connect with anyone is gossip. Nothing connects two people like a mutual dislike for someone else. And that gossip could be about a person, it could be about another group, it could be about a country even. But gossip brings people together. But if you've gossiped, how does it end up making you feel at the end? Do you feel energized by that conversation? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel secure after that conversation? Or do you feel insecure? Because someone who can sit down and gossip with me can also gossip about me to someone else. How to overcome this? The answer is given by Goswami Tulsidas in the Hanuman Chalisa.
Prabhu charitra suni beko rasiya Rama Lakhan Sita man basiya.
One who is only desirous of listening to the glories of the divine and who carries the divine Bhagawan Shri Ram, Lakshman and Sita in his heart. Such are the praises to Hanumanji. Now, one measure of our spiritual progress is to judge for ourselves whether we prefer gossip or whether we prefer listening to the glories of the Lord. If we prefer listening to the glories of the Lord, or even if we want to develop that capability, we must follow the path of Hanumanji. Hanumanji, at the end of Bhagawan Shri Ram's presence on this earth, had the opportunity to leave with Bhagawan Shri Ram. But he stayed back and promised that as long as the name of Bhagawan Shri Ram is chanted on this earth, Hanumanji would stay. He stayed back not for himself, but for you and me. That is why, till date, every time there is a chant, a prayer, a reading, or a performance of Ramayan, there is a seat reserved for Hanumanji. We know that the original author, the Adi Kavi of the Ramayan, was Sri Valmikiji. And based on that original Ramayan, there have been many versions over the years, one of which is Goswami Tulsidas's Ramcharitmanas. But did you know that there was a version of the Ramayan that is even older than Valmikiji? This was written by Hanumanji. How do we know this? Well, because once Valmikiji had written his Ramayan, he took it around the different divine planes of existence to show and share and show off a little bit his own creation. When Naradji heard Valmiki's Ramayan for the first time, he said, "This is good, but Hanumanji's is better." Curious, Valmikiji went to find Hanumanji and found him in a banana grove in Ayodhya. And there Hanumanji showed him the Ramayan that he had written on 2 banana leaves. Seeing this, Valmikiji was flooded with tears. Not because Hanumanji's Ramayan was bad, but because it was so much better than his. At that time, Hanumanji, without a second thought, tore up his own copy of the Ramayan and threw it away. Why? Because Rama Lakhan Sita Manabasya. In his heart, Hanumanji was constantly connected to Bhagawan Shri Ram, to Sita Ma and to Lakshman, and therefore he did not need the aid of a secondary Ramayan to be able to make that connection for him. Where there is talk of Bhagawan Shri Ram, there is a seat reserved for Hanumanji. But did you know that where Hanumanji goes, he eventually brings with him Bhagawan Shri Ram, Lakshman and Sita? One such incident is found in the life of my Guru, Pujya Swami Chinmayananda. In the late 70s, Swamiji wanted to build an ashram in the Himalayas. And searching far and wide for a suitable spot, he eventually came to a place called Siddhabari in Himachal Pradesh. This is located at the foothills of the Himalayas, just before the great Himalayas begin. Siddhabari, the name itself, means a place of siddhas, or spiritually attained wise people. And in this place, Swamiji started to construct his ashram in the late 1970s. All of the plans were made, the materials were obtained. But when the workers went on site, they realized that this spot was an exposed part of a Himalayan valley. And as a result, there were unceasing winds that blew through the valley, which made construction impossible. And so, the first thing that Swami Chinmayananda did on this spot, which exists in the ashram till today, is to install a massive Vigraha, a massive 40-foot deity of Shri Hanuman. And he had the firm conviction, which he told all his workers and people working on the ashram, when Hanumanji is here, he will calm his father Vayu and the winds will stop. And before you know it, the winds stopped and a grand ashram was created. Not only did the wind stop for the creation of the ashram, but that never-ending wind stopped for the entire valley, and the valley bloomed as a result. A few years after Hanumanji's arrival at the Siddhabari ashram, Swamiji decided to construct a grand temple for Bhagawan Shri Ram. And in that temple, we have one of the most unique appearances of Bhagawan Shri Ram and Sita Ma as Vanavasis, not as the king and queen that we normally see them. In forming this temple, Swamiji instructed all his devotees across the world to undertake a written japa, writing down the great mantra Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. And so devotees across the world filled notebooks with this great mantra, and all of those notebooks were collected and placed in the foundation of this temple, right underneath the sanctum sanctorum. The entire temple was built on the foundation of Bhagawan Shri Ram's name. And we know from earlier episodes in the Hanuman Chalisa that one of Hanumanji's names is Nama. Hanumanji himself brought Bhagawan Shri Ram, Lakshman and Sita to that ashram, and not only did he bring them there, but with his own form as Ram Nam, he set their foundation. Such is the greatness of Hanumanji. Prabhu Charitra Sunibe ko rasiya, Ram Lakhan Sita man basiya. One personal reflection of mine on this idea that Ram Lakhan Sita man basiya was once when I saw a image of Hanumanji in a South Indian temple, and I wondered, why is Hanumanji in this temple shown as green in color? Because earlier in the Hanuman Chalisa we have studied Kanchana Varana Viraj Subesa, that Hanumanji has a golden hue, a sparkling golden hue that comes from his great spiritual practice. Why is he shown green in color? When I asked the temple pujari, the pujari told me that Bhagawan Shri Ram, even though he is depicted as blue in tone, had a hint of green within that blue. Just as Bhagawan Shri Krishna, in his blue, had a hint of grey, the Shamarang. In the same way, Ramji had a little hint of green. And Hanumanji, who has repeated the name of Shri Ram to such an extent that his body vibrates with Ram Nam, has manifested that quality of Bhagawan Shri Ram in him, that his own skin has turned green. Such is the greatness of Hanumanji. Hanumanji makes everything possible. And if we think that we are limited in our spiritual quest, but have a desire to evolve spiritually, if we have a desire to worship Bhagawan Shri Ram, if we have a desire to evolve ourselves, then Hanumanji will make that possible as well. Just as Hanumanji has made it possible for me to create these videos and bring the secrets of success in the Hanuman Chalisa to you on YouTube. And if you found this knowledge valuable, then please do share it with at least one person who you think might benefit. And for more such talks, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. This may be a small step for you, but makes a huge difference to us. Thank you once again for joining us today. My name is Om Dhumatkar, and I'll see you again very soon with more secrets of success from the Hanuman Chalisa. Namaste.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram